day, another Filipino story. Hello everybody. I love history, especially Filipino history. Today, we will be presenting Little Manila of Stockton, California. The history of Little Manila in Stockton, California is a story of Filipino migration, community building, and cultural preservation. The history of Filipinos in Stockton dates back a century. Stockton used to have the largest Filipino community in the continental United States. After the Filipino-American War, a large influx of Filipino men came to California during the 1920s and 30s to perform cheap labor in the Central Valley that was mostly farming. Many Filipinos settled in Stockton and in time built businesses, fraternities, churches, and community spaces on El Dorado Street, which became known as Little Manila. From the early 1900s to the mid-1950s, Stockton's Filipino community created a vibrant neighborhood that served as a hub for Filipino culture and activism. In this video, we will explore the history of Little Manila, from its origin to its decline and its significance in the Filipino-American experience. Origins of Little Manila. The early Filipino immigrants who settled in Stockton were mostly young, male laborers who worked in the fields, canneries, and railroads. They faced racial discrimination and limited opportunities for social and economic mobility, but they also formed strong bonds with each other and created a tight-knit community. Only two of the original Little Manila buildings in Stockton still stand, despite the fact that it once had the largest Filipino population in the U.S. By the 1920s, the Filipino population in Stockton had grown to over 3,000. The establishment of Little Manila as a distinct neighborhood began in the 1920s when Filipinos began to rent or purchase homes and businesses in a four-block area centered around Lafayette Street. The neighborhood quickly became a cultural hub with restaurants, grocery stores, barbershops, and social clubs catering to the Filipino community. It also became a center for Filipino activism and resistance, with organizations like the Filipino Labor Union and the Filipino Community of Stockton advocating for workers' rights and civil rights. By the 1930s and 1940s, Little Manila had become a thriving community with a distinct identity and culture. The neighborhood was known for its vibrant social scene, with dance halls, movie theaters, and other entertainment venues, attracting not just Filipinos but people of all races. The majority of Filipinos in Stockton during the first wave of migration were bachelors in their 20s. They weren't allowed to own properties or marry white women, and they couldn't live in certain neighborhoods due to racist housing policies like redlining. Little Manila was also home to several Filipino newspapers, including the Philippine News and the Filipino Forum, which serves as important sources of news and information for Filipinos across the country. The union organizer Larry Itliong, who organized the Filipino farm workers, used to reside in Stockton and work extensively there. During World War II, Little Manila played a significant role in the war efforts. Many Filipinos served in the U.S. military and were stationed in Stockton for training. The neighborhood also became a hub for Filipino war refugees and displaced persons who found support and community in Little Manila. The decline of Little Manila. Despite its significance and vitality, Little Manila began to decline in the post-war era. The causes were multiple, including changes in the agricultural industry that reduced demand for Filipino labor, the rise of suburbanization and white flight, and discriminatory housing policies that restricted where Filipinos could live and own properties. In the 1960s, urban renewal projects aimed at revitalization downtown Stockton led to the demolition of much of Little Manila's historic buildings and displacements of its residents. Legacy of Little Manila. Although much of Little Manila's physical infrastructure has been lost, its legacy lives on in the Filipino-American community. Little Manila has become a symbol of Filipino-American history and identity, and efforts to preserve and memorialize the neighborhood has been ongoing. In 1999, the Little Manila Foundation was established to promote the preservation and celebration of Little Manila's cultural heritage. When Dr. Dawn Mabalon and her friend Dillon Delval, both natives of Stockton, learned about the demolition, they made the decision to fight to save the history that was being destroyed. In order to stop further neighborhood devastation, they established Little Manila Rising, previously known as the Little Manila Foundation, and in 2001 they were successful in persuading the city to designate Little Manila as a historical site. The foundation has worked to restore historic buildings, erect public art and monuments, and organize events that celebrate Filipino-American culture and history. Conclusion: the history of Little Manila is a testament to the resilience and creativity of the Filipino-American community. Despite facing discrimination and adversity, Filipinos in Stockton were able to create a vibrant neighborhood that served as a cultural and political center for generations. Today, Little Manila may be gone, but its memory and legacy continue to inspire and empower Filipino-Americans across the country. I hope you enjoyed and learned from our video for today. Please like, share, and subscribe to this channel so we can make more videos about the history of Filipinos in America. Thank you and see you at our next video.